The grace of God is sufficient for you all. Good morning. My name is Karabo and I am a PPS Diamond. If I could take you back through my academic journey, during my primary school years, I was a bright kid, but not in an extraordinary way, just in a normal way. This meant I would get grades of A's and B's, and I did not get C's, just A's and B's in primary school, which is why when I wrote my PSLE, I was able to attain a grade A with 5 A's and 2 B's by the grace of God. Moving on to my junior school, I would say that my performance dropped, not drastically, but a little bit, because one of the factors were that in primary school, I used to attend a private school. When my parents took me to a public school in junior school, it somewhat upset me, and no matter how much I tried, I couldn't perform to the best of my level. I would get B's and C's and maybe 1 or 2 A's. In junior school, I also tend to keep the wrong company, because in primary school, I didn't have many friends. I was just there living my solo life. But in junior school, I would keep the wrong company, such as people who were not in the same academic level as me, who did not do well academically. For instance, I would say that during this period of exam season, you were given an opportunity to choose the members you want to be in a group with. And what I did was I chose people who I would say were failing, because they'd get D's and E's just in the name of trying to help them. But this did not go well, because these people, even if you try to help them, they weren't really concentrating on what you were saying, and they would just talk the whole time and not pay attention, and this really led to me drawing back academically. This led to me dropping from an A, which is 55 points and above, to a B, which is 54 points and below. I would get 49 points and 51 points, but I knew this was not the best that I could do. Then what happened was I started to really rethink on my life and how God has had mercy on me throughout the years. And what I did was to redirect my life, to live a life of discipline, and also to just focus on my academics and let go of any other distractors, such as friends and social media. Because I would come to church every Sunday, I would listen to the men of God teaching about discipline, and also I would listen to the men of God's messages, PPS messages, such as sacrifice your present for the sake of your future, and also to divert your attention from where it has always been to your academics. And this led to me really focusing on my academics and trying to do my best in my academics. By the grace of God, during my Form 2, there was an initiative in my school called the Conva and Botswana had come together to put together an initiative for youngsters, which just basically they took us around to show us the different career choices that there are and which ones we would be interested in. And among the different Form 2s in my school, I was privileged to be part of that initiative, and I was able to complete it, and it was very beneficial to my academic life. Continuing on my academics, approaching exam season, although I was really nervous and anxious about how I'm going to perform, how I'm going to get through the exam season. I tried my best. I listened to the messages of the man of God repeatedly to get a word of counsel, and also I did my best to read, because like the man of God always says, genuine willingness plus God's ability is equals to excellence. So I did my best to work hard on my side and also trusted in God to see me through. And during my examinations, my junior certificate examinations, by the grace of God, there were no challenges and we were able to complete. After completing, we just went home, and this whole period was just thinking about how well do you think you're going to perform. People of God, what I would say is that my target had always been to get a merit, but I really didn't think I could. So what I put in my heart was that I would maybe land among an A. But people of God, because God is so merciful, when the results came out, I was able to get a merit, being the only child student in the school to ever receive a merit. It was utter shock when I saw my results. I was utterly shocked. I screamed to the verge of losing my voice. But what all I had in mind was that God is merciful. Like I said, during my Form 1, I was just an average child. My grades had dropped. So this is during Form 1, Class 1I. I got 51 points, which is a grade B, but my PSLE was a grade A. And what I forgot to mention, people of God, the most challenging subject that I had was Setswana. And in order for you to get a merit, you need to get an A in Setswana. So Setswana, every single exam that I wrote of Setswana, I would get a C in every single examination. And this made me lose hope, but I really tried and worked really hard towards getting the A in Setswana. So as you can see, there's a C here in Setswana, 66, which is a C in Setswana. And this was 51 points in Form 1. Fast forward to Form 3, my grades dropped because I had joined a group of students who weren't really serious, and my grades really dropped. So they dropped from 51 to 49 points, which is a B also, with a PSLE of an A. And Setswana was still a C. And then in Form 3 also, during the mock examination, I improved from, which it's not much, but I really do thank God. I improved by 2 points, which is from 49 points to a 51 points, which is also a B. And this is not what I wanted, because if you really want to get a merit, you should maybe get an A during your mock examination. So when I got a B, I was kind of discouraged, but I continued to work hard, and still Setswana was still a C. And then during the junior certificate examination, I was able to get 63 points with 7 A's, a B and a C, with an A in Setswana. Like I said, I was part of an initiative with 𝐑𝐄𝐈𝐍𝐿 and 𝐑𝐄𝐃 joined together. So this is the certificate of completion to Karabo 𝐑𝐄𝐃𝐈𝐍𝐿 Skills Development Initiative. Then this here is the certificate of academic excellence that I received for being position 3 in all the Form 2s. During Form 2, I would only range between position 3 and position 5. During mock examination, I was position 5, and I was beat by 2 girls who were not supposed to beat me. So I put it on myself that I really work hard to beat them in the JCE. word of encouragement, mostly to my peers, is that my peers, the prophet always says, genuine willingness plus God's ability is equals to excellence. So what I ought you to do right now is to work really hard and also trust in God, because God helps those who help themselves. You have to work hard because you have to do your part of working hard, and then trust in God to see you through. Thank you.